So we know where. I want to go. Yeah. We'll just give it 2 minutes. Oh, that's what he's saying. That's good.
Hey,
Okay, well, we're gonna get started on record once again. And someone will come and fix it hopefully, and we are really looking forward to our new system that is coming. All right, thank you, good evening. I would like to start by calling the Victoria and Esquimalt Board public meeting order February 24th at 5:05. I'm going to turn it over to board member Paul.
we meet today at the first. Nations in relationship to that.
Look around for any declarations of conflict. And I will move on. I'm motion to the public agenda of February 24th, 2026. All changes and all those in favor. And I'm going to look for an adoption of the public minutes of January 20th, 2026. Everything seconded by Andrea. All those in favor? Motion carries. Quick board chair update for me. All board members are aware that on February 26th at 6 p.m. we're meeting with just socially with all of local municipal boards. So Saanich, and Obey stepped out of the BCAPB conference last year when there was just a lot of interest in board members and having an opportunity to connect. So the chairs of all of those boards have organized it, just reminding everybody that that is this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Barter Baker. We won't be discussing any specific board topics, certainly nothing confidential, just an opportunity to get to know each other together. And this is long time coming. It took a long time to plan, so hoping as many of your members. Now I will move on to committee's updates. Elizabeth. Yes. The only thing I'll add to this just is that CAPB is a non-funded organization. And so most of the meetings. Here. A seconder for that. Just give it it's very well within our I will always be thinking of the word, and then I think this is always in favor. On to item F, which is the board member engagement. Participated in Thank you very much. I'm going to do a quick update for the BC Association governance. My past president of BC APB, it's been really important to me to build relationships and to develop opportunities for joint advocacy, partnership, and information sharing between organizations. BC APB. So in line with that, our executive spent the day on February 2nd at the Business Institute. We had a presentation from their president, from their board chair, from their external engagement office, and we got to watch a lot of actual training scenarios and scenario where they had an actor come in and play a victim of sexual assault and watch the training of the officers and response to that. Answered a lot of great questions, and it was extremely valuable and interesting day. I asked them the question of how and what they teach about governance and oversight. The answer was that they don't. And I've been really pleased to have a reach out right away and be CAPB to work with to develop close contact on how to educate the groups on the board and so I'm looking forward to participating in that, and ultimately that's going to be really positive, I think. Started understanding what it is and what role that plays. BCAPB on February 4th. Just because we have time, I'm going to take a minute to tell you about this because I don't think most board members or members of the public are aware that this exists. But I sit as a representative on something called PACOPS, which is the Advisory Committee on Policing Safety Standards. It meets 4 times a year and it has representatives from the CIIO, Police Association, Boards, BC Civil Liberties Association, BC Assembly of First Nations, various police leaders, and community partners. And it reviews the police safety standard changes. So almost of the content of the meeting is confidential. The topics aren't. So there's an opportunity to talk about new standards for the emergency response team, for missing persons investigations, detention facilities, taser 10 field trial. There's just an excellent opportunity for boards both at the table and an understanding of safety standards and the different levels of discussion and education relating and engagement related to that. So that is my BC. Okay. Oh, and I guess I'll say that we also have a member of our executive attending the community safety meeting in Richmond this week. So safety is really striking out to build our relationships and be more valuable. I'll just give a quick update on CAPG. Just returned from attending the First Nations Governance Council conference. I sat on there and we organized on the second annual conference. So we have speakers and board members and government all over Canada are it's really interesting. It's one of my favorite events of the year. The feature on CBC National News. Probably one of the most rewarding things I've done in a long time is work with that organization. So that is my update on those two.
Very much. Good evening, everyone. So over this reporting period, my focus has been on operational responsiveness, fiscal transparency, leadership, continuity, and sustained engagement. After a period of significant and also measures, start with governance and fiscal accountability. During this reporting period, we presented the revised budget to both Victoria Council and Esquimalt Council just last night. These presentations were focused on the realities of operational demand, some of our staffing pressures, recruitment and retention, and each line the broader community safety and well-being plan in Victoria, but also a number of objectives that have been expressed in Esquimalt. Reduced, as many of you will know, our budget ask by 3 traffic officers in an attempt to really demonstrate responsiveness to the pressures that we heard about loud and clear from both the City of Victoria and the Township of Esquimalt. We also, in this reporting period, launched a national deputy chief competition. This reflects a deliberate commitment to succession planning and leadership continuity within the organization. We have what I truly believe are exceptional internal candidates, and providing them an opportunity to compete with other applicants from across the country will only add to the credibility and reputational strength of whoever is chosen for that position moving forward. So we're looking forward to this competition. We also launched VicPD's new website during this reporting period. This redesign improves accessibility, navigation, and transparency. It's part of a broader modernization effort, and additional work is underway to update and streamline content. So you'll notice that there are still some pieces of content that need to be updated, but we wanted to get that initial new website out and published. We will continue to work on it as we move forward. From a community engagement perspective, on January 20th, we attended an event hosted by Destination here Victoria, where I spent about an hour and a half in discussion with business owners and operators, talked about public safety concerns, downtown conditions, and the importance of visible responsibility. This was one of a number of community consultation events that we've engaged in, starting with business community for the most part. And on February 10th, I delivered the keynote address at the Victoria Chamber of Commerce luncheon. The focus of that discussion was the changing nature of policing demands in Victoria, particularly the intersection of mental health and substance use disorder, victimization, public disorder. And the conversation really emphasized the need for coordinated system-level solutions rather than enforcement alone. We'll talk a lot about that, particularly in the context of Victoria's safety and well-being plan. On February 18th, it was absolutely a pleasure to attend Police Camp orientation. This continues to be an important youth leadership initiative that is hosted by the Greater Victoria Police Foundation. This year's participants were selected from a highly competitive pool of applicants. In fact, I think there was over 200 applicants and over 50 kids who were chosen. Police Camp really provides students with leadership development, team building experience, and exposure to modern policing. And it was really fun speaking to students and family members. We also had a number of the PD members who volunteer for that event. It was great to see them on that evening, but as Police Camp actually occurs in March, there's a number of the PD members who are involved in that as well, that volunteer capacity. January 26th, we participated in a Help I Am announcement alongside Ministers Krieger and Osborne and area chiefs of Island Health. This initiative really supports information sharing and coordination in mental health applications, and it reflects continued work to strengthen the interface between systems. Operationally, this reporting period reflects the breadth of work that has been going on in communities. On January 27th, for example, officers responded to a stabbing on Work Street. The victim with serious injuries was transported to hospital. The suspect was identified and arrested. On February 13th, officers responded to reports of explosions and fire near Quadra and Johnson Street. A garbage can and a hydro pole had been set on fire. You may have read some of this. On February 20th, we sought public assistance following the alleged assault of 2 employees at a business on Pandora Avenue, and our intention is to utilize media and social media in an effort to help us to solve some of these issues in releases last month. We also had multiple missing persons investigations and released a number of reports asking for the public's assistance. In each instance, individuals have been located, right up to one that was just in the last 24 hours. These files are often really complex in nature and very time sensitive, and they really require sustained investigative coordination. So we're proud of the team that takes care of those investigations. On January 28th, you may have noticed we issued a public health advisory with respect to an increase in overdose linked to medetomidine following 15 non-fatal overdoses in a 24-hour period. Several cases, naloxone did not have its usual effect, because unfortunately for benzodiazepines and drugs like medetomidine, they don't respond to naloxone, making the medical response more complicated. That reality continued as recently as yesterday when EHS requested police assistance for multiple overdoses in 900 block of Pandora. Paramedics managed about 7 overdoses at one time, and multiple crews were required on scene at a time. Several of our police members attended and were on scene within a few minutes. They assisted with scene safety and helped with patients who, in one case, actually required sedation and nurse transports to hospital. During this reporting period, the BC Prosecution Service announced that no charges would be laid against a PD officer in relation to a 2021 fatal officer involved shooting. It really underscores the importance of independent oversight. Fortunately, it took a number of years for that conclusion to come forward, and we're constantly working behind the scenes with our partners at both the IIO and the OPCC to do anything to try and speed up these processes. As you can imagine, that time delay is difficult on absolutely everybody who's involved in those incidents. They also provided traffic advisories and operational coordination for a number of major public events. On February 10th, we swore in 15 auxiliary special needs constables, which was a record here at one time at Big PD. This strengthens our volunteer capacity and community engagement support within the organization. Community presence and engagement continued throughout the reporting period. There was a number of events that we attended: the Stolen Sisters March, the Wounded Warrior run BC Gala. We attended our place with a number of young women from a local soccer team who put together comfort kits for delivery. We did the Special Olympic polar plunge on Sunday in weather that was less than ideal. I have to admit, it was very, very windy and raining and quite a dark day, but a lot of fun. And I'm proud to say that Big PD was the lead police agency in terms of money raised, over $13,000 for that really important cause. And just last night, I was honored to attend the Lunar New Year celebration hosted by the Victoria Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. So that was Sunday night, and we had a fantastic. We also launched the first Ask the Chief video as part of ongoing efforts to improve transparency and direct communication with the public. We answered a couple of questions that have come in so far, and we'll be publishing those once a week moving forward. And those will be found on our website, but also on our social media channels. I think overall, it was a really busy reporting period for Big PD. The demands placed on our organization continue to evolve, particularly in areas with respect to substance use, health, victimization. At the same time, it's very clear that public expectations for safety, accountability, and transparency remain very high, and we doing things to try and advance satisfying some of those expectations. Big PD members and our civilian staff continue to respond professionally, consistently across a wide range of responsibilities, and I could not be more proud of the work that has happened over the last number of weeks. I think I'll leave it at that, but happy to take any questions.
Very busy. We were warning then.
Yes.
You still have a smile on your face. Absolutely. Investor. And I will move on to our deputy chief.
I can have it up here.
I will move on to this topic. Community safety.
So I just thought it would be a good time to circle back on some of the work that has been done with respect to the community safety and wellbeing plan. When I first started here at Big PD in September, I presented to the board around our plan to support the community safety and wellbeing plan from Victoria that was adopted in June of 2025. Its focus is prevention, integration, and coordination. And it reflects a recognition that public safety is not delivered by one organization alone. It's achieved by policing, health, housing, social services, and community partners operate in alignment. Certainly over the last number of months, that is exactly what we have been working towards. This is fundamentally a city plan, and it contains many components beyond policing, including housing strategies, public health initiatives, and service integration efforts. Big PD is one part of that broader wellbeing framework, and we supported the community safety and wellbeing plan because the challenges we face daily, including mental health crises, substance use, homelessness, and social disorder, simply cannot be addressed through enforcement alone. We recognize that, we embrace that, and a coordinated and integrated approach is both necessary but also responsible. In July, the city provided funding for 9 additional officers to support the formation of a dedicated foot patrol team. The team was formally deployed in January as part of our services division. Their mandate is to provide visible, proactive patrols throughout the city, key neighborhoods, strengthening engagement with people who live, work, and play in the city of Victoria. These are resources that are dedicated to Victoria only, unlike many of our other resources that serve both Esquimalt and Victoria. And really, the primary goal of the patrol unit is to build relationships in community, and to try and get ahead of issues before they arise. In addition to this, 2 sworn officers were assigned specifically to work alongside city bylaw staff These are all positions that we posted for internally here at Big PD that our members applied for. So we put them through a competition process in an effort to make sure we were getting the right people in the right places. The bylaw partnership is focused on coordinated enforcement and service-linked responses to property-related concerns, public disorder. The objective is alignment and consistency in how we address some of those complex community safety issues. The city also provided over $200,000 in July to extend the C-STEP program. So that is funding from the province. That C-STEP funding was from the province to allow us to deploy members out on foot on overtime for increased presence in the downtown core. These shifts, as I say, are funded by the province. However, the extra money has allowed us to extend the time that we can do this work in March. From an implementation perspective, several foundation elements are now in place, and that's primarily what I wanted to report back to all of you on. As you know, we appointed a police community safety and wellbeing liaison, Howard Tran, to strengthen coordination between Big PD, the city, Island Health, housing providers, and community providers. That role has focused particularly on improving system alignment and addressing pressures related to mental health calls and hospital wait times. A critical component of Howard's work has been with Island Health. We have strengthened coordination around mental health apprehensions, information sharing, and system pressures at hospital sites. Health IAM has since been implemented, as I spoke about briefly earlier, to transfer information with respect to mental health apprehensions. And I'm really pleased to say that discussions are underway to formalize agreements that really clarify roles, responsibilities, and data sharing between Big PD and health authority that I think will really be transformational, quite frankly, forward. We have enhanced our empirical data collection related to mental health calls, overdoses, and incidents of social disorder. The Health IAM data in and of itself is fascinating, but we've managed to add data collection around hospital wait times, monitor trends to measure workload impacts, and to ensure that we're really making data-informed decisions. Operationally, the bylaw partnerships have increased visibility and coordination in the downtown core. While the work remains complex, there is clearer alignment between agencies and structured businesses, residents, and service providers. Community safety and wellbeing plan represents a shared commitment to integrated pathways for safety and wellbeing. And we will continue to provide updates as we move forward with the plan. I could not be more proud of the members of Big PD who have really worked so hard to roll out pieces of the community safety and wellbeing plan, such as the flood control team and the bylaw support, and of course Howard Tran's work that has been ongoing and really persistent between the city, Island Health, and service providers as well. So really great relationship that's happened. And I think is exactly what was intended at this role. So happy to take any further questions on that. Thank you. I will hand it to you.
Sure. So, go off on the group. A couple things. As a region, is the event. It's happening. That was one of my questions about the Vancouver, whether or not has there been an official request from the PD or Vancouver Police Department to Victoria for support? Or whether those 12 months? like the thoughts. Like, just in regards to, if you don't know yet the events, but you did mention the March 31st viewing party, and that's, I assume that's being put on by the province, I'm assuming. I guess my point is will we be able to track costs, additional costs incurred to McPD for FIFA? Just at the end of the day, it would be, I think it would be good for us to know the province made this decision to host FIFA. I think we should know what is the impact on citizens of Victoria and Esquimalt on the costs to support those events.
Are you aware of other municipal? Any other questions or comments?
That's my understanding.
More questions, we'll move on to our final item, which is more correspondence. I've indicated or added to the package a letter that the BCAPB sent to the Premier on February 19th. Just to give you a little bit of background, on February 5th, indicated that they would allow 4 board members from Surrey, that they will allow 4 of their OICs to expire, work on replacing them, cooperation with the mayor. Almost immediately, Mayor Ken Sim of Vancouver issued a public letter indicating that his expectation was that if the province worked collaboratively with Surrey on police board appointments, they would expect the same. This is obviously very concerning in terms of independence of appointments of police board members and the understanding that police boards are not very quickly to discuss our response to this. And while we did want to respond immediately within a few days after the Tumbler Ridge tragedy happened, so we didn't send our letter until February 19th. I know you've had a chance to read it, but I just want to highlight the important pieces is the and to ensure public trust and oversight of policing. BCAPB took a position that the province adopt a standardized appointment process anchored in the following principles: separation from political election cycles, council oversight of mayoral discretion and merit-based independence. And in my opinion, this supports a consistent, fair, and transparent process. That is the only way to maintain the credibility of police oversight in British Columbia. So I just wanted to bring this up for awareness. I think it's very concerning province to take a position here. A number of appointments. Aware of it.
I want to thank CATV for sending it's not words for governance. I just see, in fact, this is correct. Having board members correctly selected by one person or by one council by any mayor, I think it pose huge challenges for that police board and that municipality on many issues. But I really think about budget times and trying to improve this budget. I think that those potential members that are being selected or recommended by the mayor are going to be in a conflict of interest or at least perceived conflict. And I think this has not been thought out at all. I'm hoping this is not great. The story is not correct, but I think DCAPD has been on the ball with, and I would ask that we get apprised of this, and I think we need to work with the other supports to ensure that this is fairly responsibility. All of those items. Thank you.
Very much. I will absolutely. Did I have a meeting with the minutes on the topic? Did I miss anything before I announced? Can I take a motion to adjourn the public meeting? And well, I just want to